Well, Apple today unveiled their latest innovation, a credit card. Joining us now to discuss, Ted Rossman. He's an industry analyst at creditcards.com. So, Ted, what's your take on what Apple is trying to do? I saw someone on my Twitter feed noting that the subreddit that tracks people who like to play the credit card games and rack up points, they were already not interested in what Apple had announced today.
They didn't say anything about a sign-up bonus. That's something that definitely gets the card churners' attention. But even in terms of ongoing rewards, they talk about 3% on Apple purchases, 2% on Apple Pay, 1% on everything else. You could keep it simple with the Citi Double Cash and just get 2% on everything. Or there's a card from US Bank called the Altitude Reserve Visa Infinite. Not too many people know about this one.
None of us here.
Miles is writing it down.
You might want to look into it because it actually offers 3 points per dollar on mobile wallets, which could be worth 4.5 if you redeem for travel. There's really nothing all that new about this Apple card.
But
you liked it.
Okay,
you like the sound of it.
He's raining
Ted
on my
knows,
parade.
He knows credit cards,
I
Jen.
watched the Apple reveal, and I thought it was beautiful. It just has your name. It's titanium.
They all have your name on it.
No, it doesn't have numbers on it. It doesn't have expiration date or the code. It just looks really cool.
So passe.
Does this image have something to do with it?
It's branded with Goldman Sachs. And they're making it right now. Look at this.
It says
Look
Jen.
at this. It's going to say like Meredith something if I remember.
Boy, you
right.
are.
I watched this.
You really
Marissa. But anyhow, I thought, wow, this is really cool. And you get cash back. Also, I thought, will it make Apple Pay work better on my phone? Because Apple Pay kind of stinks from my vantage point. So if I could get this cool card and I'm going to get 1% and Apple Pay would work, I'm okay with it. I'm not one of these serial churners, though. Does that make sense to you, or that's just a huge mistake to go after a card because it just looks nice?
Well, I think it got everybody's attention because it's Apple, and Apple has a ton of dedicated fans. One thing that I think might be good that comes out of this is raising awareness for mobile wallets in general, and the contactless cards that run off the same technology. Those are coming here to New York City this spring on certain subway lines. We're already seeing it in Chicago. It's coming to Portland. So I think that actually Apple Pay may be a proxy for this larger contactless card, tap and go kind of infrastructure.
And what about beyond that? I just came back from China doing the whole QR scan code thing. No cash, no cards. When are we going to get there?
Well, what's interesting about the US versus China is that, China is way ahead of us on the cashless society. And a lot of their mobile payments, things like WeChat and Alipay, are running outside of the traditional banking system. Here in the US, when you use Apple Pay, you're using a traditional credit card that's going through the rails of Visa, MasterCard, Amex. Companies like Apple or let's say Amazon would love to get to a place where they are actually the rails processing that. We're a long way from that.
Why can't that happen? In other words, it's happened in China. Why can't it happen here? Because the banks and the credit card companies have a stranglehold?
A lot of it has to do with regulation too. So we always hear, is Amazon going to be a bank? It's really hard to get a bank charter. So that's why we see these companies like Apple's partnering with Goldman Sachs on this.
Right.
I think there's a place for it, but I think it's a lot more sizzle than steak at this point.
Now,
I know, I'm not going to get it now, I guess. Fine.
Ted, you were actually brought here initially to discuss your latest survey from creditcards.com that said 6 million parents have children under 18 with their own credit cards. I suppose Apple now offers another option for those families that give their kids credit cards. As a non-parent, I see this story and I say, wow, there's 6 million crazy people out there. But how does this compare, I guess, to the number of kids that have cell phones, and whose credit is this? Is this kids building their own credit, or are they just glomming on to what their parents have, and what are the risks?
Way more kids have cell phones. I thought that was interesting. So whereas only 8% of kids have a credit card, we found that 53% of kids have a cell phone.
Okay.
The majority starts at age 11. That's when more than half of kids have a cell phone. And by high school, it's nearly universal. So there are reasons to give your kid a credit card at an early age to build credit and to build responsible spending habits. I would tie these two together, though. You're talking about cell phones. Increasingly, your cell phone is your wallet.
Yes.
So it's not as much of an either or. I think parents need to teach kids about managing plastic and technology and realizing that they could be one and the same.
Well, this is one of these things where you ask a kid, would you rather have a credit card or a phone? Phone. Would you rather have a credit card, or would you rather have a phone or a car? Phone. The phone's number one because you can just get a car with your phone. You can get everything with your phone.
Then you
so
got to have a
always
credit
want-
card linked to the phone to get the car to pay
That's
for the car.
easy. You just call your parents up. Believe me.
The things
You'll
I'm-
be there. You'll see.
I was going to say,
You'll
the
see.
things I'm going to
You'll see.
learn.
You'll learn.
Silence over here.
I have the green light credit, like debit card. Do you know what those are for
I
kids?
think that's a great
your
idea
kids?
Yeah.
for teaching
Oh, really?
kids
And
about
I
money.
have those for the kids.
Do they have to do
it works.
chores? I'm not going to know. That's a
No,
personal
we
question.
are.
I'm not gonna ask that.
We're
I
an
shouldn't ask
allowance
that.
not based on chores. Don't
Okay.
ask.
I shouldn't ask.
Free chore environment
Personal
over
question.
there.
I'm sorry.
All right, Ted Rossman, Bankrate. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Conversation.